All right, it's time for another eBay unboxing. I noticed my numbers are down ever since I've been collecting holy relics. Nobody seems to be interested. No problem with that. So, yeah, I'm proud to say my viewerships are down and nobody wants to watch me anymore. All right, let's open this box up in fast motion. Now, I know that most of you don't need some chick from Long Island, a Long Island housewife, telling you about God. You don't need to check out these videos, they're boring. But I really love these relics, and I collect them now. And am I like holy? The answer is no. I'd like to be a saint one day. The patron saint of eBay. No, I'm only kidding. I really like to be a saint. Who wouldn't? And so, what is the power behind these? And you might ask, do they hold any power? The answer is, I don't know. I'm not a priest. I'm not a bishop. I'm not an archbishop. I'm not a pope. And so, what we have here is Saint Pope Pius X. And you've seen multiple unboxings of this particular saint's relics. And why do I get it? I'll tell you why. Because Saint Pope Pius X always shows up in my life some way, somehow, to the point where I think I have 7 relics of his right now. And an 8th one was just purchased the other day. These things don't come on the market that often. Why do they always end up in my hands? Well, I ended up speaking to Father John from my local parish. We were on the phone for like 30 minutes. I never met him in person. Because why? I don't leave the house to go to church. I don't leave the house to even go to the store. I have really bad anxiety. And he called me up because I told him about my holy relic collection. And he was quite interested in it. And we had a long discussion about holy relics. And we talked about Pope Pius X. As a matter of fact, we kept missing each other, 2 ships in the night. We were emailing each other, but we kept missing each other. Why? Because I don't usually even answer my phone to strangers. If I don't recognize your number, I'm not answering. And so I happened to be taking another one of my Pope Pius X relics, and I was cleaning it. I was sitting there and lovingly shining it up and cleaning it, and the phone rang. And I looked and I didn't recognize the number, but it said the name of a church. And I answered, and it was Father John. And he said, "What are you doing right now?" And I said, "I'm cleaning Pope Pius X." And he said, "What?" And I said, No, I'm not cleaning Pope Pius X. I'm cleaning his holy relic." And he laughed. And I said, "It bothers me. I have OCD when these things are dirty. They need to be cleaned. They need to be shining and gleaming." And he laughed. And I said, "Most that I find in my collection need some sort of cleaning when they arrive because they are not clean. They are filthy and not taken care of." And he said, "It's true. Most of these relics are not taken care of. And they should be more taken care of." And so here we have Pope Pius X. Most likely, yes, this is definitely a first-class relic. Well, let's get in there close and check that out. What kind of first-class relic? I don't know until I get my loop, which I will be doing in a moment. It's the carpere. I don't know if I pronounced it right. Ex carpere, which is the skin of the saint. And so it's the skin. And you might think this is Hannibal Lecter level stuff. But no, it's not, I can assure you. And so I was talking to Father John, and you guys are going to hit the back button. Nobody likes religion anymore. Pretty much we're in a godless society. And if you're watching this and you're like, and you hit the back button, don't worry about it. It doesn't make me upset because I'm like that too. And but we all need something. And I'm hoping that there's God, and I'm hoping that there's something for all of us in this next life. If not, I don't want to be taking a dirt nap anytime soon, if you know what I mean. And so all these who, what, when, where, why, and hows pop up in my head. How did we get here? Who created God? Who created God out of nothing? Like, how could something come out of nothing? How could the sun, moon, and stars and universe all form from nothing? It has to be something, right? Hopefully, and I hopefully think it's a nice, benevolent, loving, and forgiving God. Because half of the things I've done in my life weren't too good. And so I wonder, and I sit here and I ponder. I sound like I'm from the 1700s. I ponder, what would God think of me if he met me right now? If God had an appointment with me right now, he would probably I don't know, make an exit door and pull the crank, and I would fall through the floor into some other place. And yeah. So I was talking to Father John, thinking I'm going to be judged because he's a holy man and I'm not a holy woman. And so I asked some questions, and he was talking to me about relics. And I asked him, "Do you have any relics in your collection?" And he said, "Well," I said, "I got Maria Goretti the other day. It's like a baseball card collection." And he said, I know that's disrespectful and I apologize. And he says, "I have Maria Goretti too." And I said, "No way." And I said, "Do you have a beautiful reliquary for Maria Goretti? Like something to hold it in that's really pretty?" And he said, "Well, I don't." And I said, "Well, how do you have her on display?" He said, "Do you know what my best tool is?" And I'm thinking the crucifix. He said, "No, my MasterCard." And I said, "What does that mean?" And he said, "I bought a little glass box for $33 on Amazon and I placed it inside. But I know deep in my heart that a little glass display case or box is not a great place for Maria Goretti to be displayed." And so I had a discussion with my husband, and I took pity on the priest. And I said to my husband, "Hon, he's got Maria Goretti in a little Amazon glass box, and it makes me sad." And my husband said, "What happened to you? You're greedy. You're usually the most ungiving person in this world, and you're worried about Father John's Saint Maria Goretti relic not being displayed in a beautiful, beautiful reliquary like the ones you have?" And I said, "Yes." And he said, "Something's happening to you." And I said, "What?" He goes, "Your heart is not so stone cold anymore." And so I said, "Can we pretty please by by Father John, a beautiful reliquary for his Maria Goretti?" And my husband said, "How much are they?" And when I showed him on Amazon, my husband got silent, if you know what I mean. And the one I had picked out for him was the same ones that I have here, which are 12 of the same of these guys over here. I might have one or two other ones that are different, but my husband said, "What the heck? Why are these things so expensive?" And I said, "Because they are." And he said, "Let me think about it. Put it in the cart." It's always that put it in the cart. We all do it on Amazon. We see something we desire. We put it in the cart and we're like, maybe we'll buy it later. And then you realize you don't have enough on the Visa card, which is Father John's best tool, by the way. And you don't buy it and it sits there for sometimes a month or two or three. And eureka, one of these days, like your MasterCard is not maxed out because you just sent the minimum payment and you can actually afford something that you wanted and that was sitting in your cart and languishing for months. And so my husband said, "Perhaps we might buy this for Father John." And me, I was all ready to pull the trigger and use my husband's best tool, which is the Visa card, and he wasn't ready. And so a couple of hours passed by, and guess what came in the mail? Another one of these reliquaries, and it was for this reliquary. And when I opened it up, it was used. Amazon sent me a used reliquary that was returned back to them that somebody did not like. And I called them up and I started giving them hell. Yes, hell, H-E double hockey sticks. And the lady said, "Return it back and we'll give you a new one." And I said, "How will I know that you're not going to send me a brand new one when you already sent me one that was returned and used and all scuffed up?" And they said, "Send it back and we'll send you a new one." So I got into a fight with the Indian lady from Amazon. And I told her, "No, I want you to send me a new one now. And I'm not returning the other one, even though it has scuffs." And I sort of came up with a lie. Okay, so now I'm going to hell over this because I wanted to get a reliquary for Father John. And I couldn't afford to pull the trigger while my husband was languishing it in the shopping cart. And so I sort of came up with a lie. And here's what happened. So here's the box my reliquary came in, which has somebody else's return shipping label that was torn off. My shipping label when they shipped this used item to me is on the other side of this box. But what do we notice? By the way, I'm covering this up because it's not the third-party seller's fault. It's Amazon's fault. When you see LPNRR, I Googled it. Trust me, inquiring minds want to know. LPNRR means that this item was returned to Amazon and put back in their stock and resold as brand new. with somebody else's shipping label torn off the edges of this. And so I told her a little white lie. I said, well, when I stuck my hand into the box, this returned item that was sold to me as new had a piece of glass, which they all have pieces of glass right here. And I said, I put my hand into the box and I lacerated my fingers. And I have to go to the ER right now and get my fingers stitched up because I have open wounds and gashes and scratches all over my fingers from your faulty product. And she said, send it back and we'll send you another one. And I said, no, it's covered in blood. And she said, send it back and we'll send you a new one. And I said, no, it has a biohazard on it now. My blood dripped all over it. And I want you to send me a new one. And I threw this one in the garbage because it has my DNA on it. And she said, hold on 1 minute. And she came back 20 minutes later and said, we'll send you a new one. Keep the old one. So now Father John is getting a brand new reliquary. And for his Maria Goretti. And it made me feel so bad for him. And then some kindness went into my heart. And I saw another St. Pope Pius X relic being sold on eBay. I made a seller an offer. And they sent me a counter offer, and it was expensive, but not too expensive. So I said to my husband, well, it was a little stiff on the price. And I said to my husband, I want to give Father John his very own St. Pope Pius X relic. And my husband said, you have 7 of them. And I said, well, I can't give any of mine away. And my husband said, you greedy bastard. And he bought it. And it's coming for Saint Father John. You never know. He might become a saint one day, especially dealing with me. And so now he's getting a reliquary. And he's getting a St. Pope Pius X first class relic. And I'm giving him my second class St. Therese of Lisieux relic. And I'm also giving him another St. Therese of Lisieux relic with 3 other saints, St. Gerard, St. Anne, and who is the other saint? I don't even know. And so I'm giving him all these presents. And my husband said, something's happening to you. He goes, did you find God in your life? And I'm like, maybe. So I'll show you this scuffed up reliquary that they sent me that I am sort of using. It has St. Maria Goretti in it that Father John does not have a chalice for it. Well, I call these things chalices, but it's a reliquary. And these jerks sent it to me used and all scuffed up. Look at this. All scuffed up. These things are so expensive. Look at that. Look at that. All scuffed. And also, the back of the door would not close. And it even has all scuffs. Look at this. All scuffs all over it. I don't know if you can see this because I'm a perfectionist. When I order stuff, look, it's all scratched up and all used. The door is like, it looks like someone repainted it. And the base is scuffed. Let's take a look at the scuffs. Microscopic scuffs, but to me, they're very big. Extremely big. Oh, so big. And so I was like, you send me this damn thing for free. And it's going to Father John. So it's like robbing Peter to pay Paul, if you know what I mean. But screw you, Amazon. And so am I a better person for having these relics? I don't know. Write a 1 in the comments below if you think I am. All right, we're going to put this in my other reliquary. Yes, this one is non-damaged. And thank goodness. And let's go do that. I'm also going to clean the metal. Like when I was on the phone with Father John, I was telling him I was shining up the metal. And then we'll talk further. Let's chat. How's about that? Let's chat. What is this blue cloth for? I use it actually to fill up my reliquaries. And yeah, it's getting smaller and smaller because I keep cutting pieces of it. So yeah, I was talking to Father John for 30 minutes on the phone. And he was so nice. And he said to me, if he wasn't a priest, he'd own a pizzeria. And we're both Italians. And I felt the kindredness between the two of us. And we laughed. And he told me jokes about a lady named Beatrice, who told him to call her B. And she said, he said, you son of a B. And I said, what a funny guy. A very funny guy. And I sort of like him. And I told him, I can't come to church because I have agoraphobia because he has to see me in person. And he said, well, I'll come to your house and give you communion. And I said, I'll make you a big ziti because you're Italian like me. And he laughed. And he told me more jokes. They sort of weren't funny, but I laughed anyway because a priest telling jokes is a breath of fresh air. So whether they're funny or not, you laugh anyway, and you actually really laugh because it's quite funny. And I really like Father John. He was better than any therapist I ever spoke to in all my 40-something years of going to therapy. And look at this. Pope Pius is getting very clean right now. Wow, Pope Pius was black as the ace of spades. All right, we got to keep going with this Simicrone and this nasty rag that I get from Amazon to clean metal. And this you cannot buy in the state of California because the nanny state believes that this may cause cancer. Simicrone. It's what does your relics good and any kind of metal. And so Father John does not know he's going to be getting a new chalice, courtesy of Amazon.com. Thank you, Amazon, for finally, after like an hour of arguing with you, being willing to send me one for free for Father John. Well, you don't know that we're doing that. But you know what? Amazon is actually doing God's work. And so I asked my husband if I was going to hell for lying about my fingers bleeding. And my husband, who's the most pious person I know besides Father John, said, no, screw Amazon. And I was like, okay, very good then. And so Amazon is now actually sending us actual returned items. I even got a returned pillowcase. You can check my story out on the crime scene pillowcase investigation that I did. It's an expose on finding out that Amazon was sending used returned items as new. And so I put a black light on because I noticed that the pillowcase that I ordered many times before, did not come in its original package. And so I saw stains on it when I took it out of the Ziploc bag. Yes, they shipped it to me in a Ziploc bag. That wasn't the original packaging. And I turned the flashlight on, which is a black light, and shut all the lights off. And it was a crime scene pillowcase covered in bodily fluids, drool, probably urine, and other people's, body fluids. And so I called up Amazon on that one. And I said, why? By the way, it had the LPN sticker RR, which is their barcode for an item that was returned back to them. And I said, why did you send me a used pillowcase? And they said, we do no such thing. They didn't say it like that. We do no such thing. And a heavy, thick Indian accent, not making fun of it, but that's what it sounded like to me. And I said, yes, you did. And they said, no, I didn't. And then they refused to admit that they send you used items that were returned back to them. And it made me very angry, boys and girls. And so I did that video. And then not long after that, why did I keep ordering from them? I don't know. I ordered a package of socks. The package of socks did not come in the Hanes Her Way package that it usually comes in. It came in a Ziploc bag, and it had a label that said L. What was that letter, that magic letter again? Hold on, I'll be back. LPNRR on it with a barcode, meaning that somebody took those socks and had swamp feet and probably tried them on. They didn't fit over their fat diabetic foot. And I'm not making fun of diabetes because I have a really bad pitting edema on my feet. And what happened was they sold it to me as new and sent it to me. And that pissed me off. And why do I keep buying from Amazon? The prices are right sometimes, if you know what I mean. And so hopefully Father John will get his reliquary soon. So then, and this will come, the other one that I ordered for him. Well, I didn't pay for it. My husband did. If I had to pay for it, I might have been a little less generous. Because, I'm pretty broke. And anytime I get any kind of money, it's like a huge thing for me. But, Father John is going to get a first-class relic of St. Pope Pius X. And hopefully he will be happy with that. And he's going to get the reliquary. And he's going to get the other two relics. And why am I being so kind lately? I don't know, boys and girls. Could it be the relics? Maybe. All right, I cleaned it up as best as I could. It's shining like a new penny now. Oh, I forgot to check for the seal. And to tell if these things are authentic, you are not tampering with it, but you just take the little backing off. And I got it off without damaging the relic. Yes, this is the real deal. You can see the Postula General's stamp on the back from the Vatican. Very good, very beautiful. We're going to put it back on. We're going to put it in the monstrance. We're going to wrap up this video. And, it goes right where the loop is. You could wear this around your neck. I did not clean the back because the back has blessings on it. from a priest or nun who owned it, most likely a priest who owned it before. Let's get this on and push it on. So if you never placed a relic inside of a reliquary, here's how to do it. And so here we go. So we're going to take our reliquary. It's not very easy. You may end up spewing some expletives. It's not a very holy thing to do. And so you take out your reliquary out of the plastic packaging. You get batting cotton. It's called batting. It's for quilts. And so you take a couple of pieces of cotton and rip it off. And then you get your background, which is not cut very well. And you open up the little door. And, oh, hold on. I have to get my air can. Hold on. And you get your air can because there's always going to be fibers inside of here. And you blow it out. You blow out the fibers because it's going to be in the viewing window. And you place, hold on, let's move this. You place, oh, you need a shish kebab stick also. Or any kind of stick for that matter. And you place this like this, right? You want it just so your item can be balanced properly in the center of the reliquary. Let's try to do this without it falling and breaking. Okay, and then you're going to take your item. Oh no, where did it go? Oh, here it is. Okay, and you're going to place it right in the center of the window where you want it to be displayed. And so the loop is going to be up. All right. I'm going to place it right in between the little prongs on each thing. You can never get these things centered perfectly. It's a science, boys and girls. And then what you want to do is you want to put your background in there, which I cut very sloppily. And you're going to drop that on top of there. You're going to take your stick and then you're going to push, if you can, and there, and then there, and then there. And then what you want to do is take your cotton and equally put it around the rim or perimeter of your item. So you want to put your finger right in the center of it so it doesn't move. And you want to put your cotton going around it so it's going to stay in that same place. And crap, I should have ripped strips of this. There we go. And you're going to place it. You just don't want to mess up your velveteen. By the way, you can get on Amazon. I got mine for like $6.99 for a yard. You can get it in any color you want. You want, oh, the wrong finger is on there. And then you want to put your cotton, hold on. You want to put your cotton so it's not going to shift. And sometimes it shifts even after you do this. And then you're going to have to play around with it and you're going to spew a few expletives and yeah, you're going to get angry and you're going to get really frustrated. And so then, all right, it feels like it's secure in there, right? And then you want to take a small piece. You need the door to shut. A small piece right back here. You want to flip this. You want to hold it down, flip it, and see if it's centered properly. And it's not to my liking. Of course it's not to my liking. So what you want to do is, hold on. You want to move this from behind. There you go. I like this a little better. Yes. Okay. And then what you want to do is close this door. If it's overstuffed, it will not close, but you need to tuck it in. So that's where the stick comes in. We'll get the stick. The stick. It doesn't have to be a shish kebab stick, boys and girls. And so you're going to tuck that in there as best you can. So when you go to close the door, it doesn't impede the door closure. And let me get around there because I see it sticking out on the other end. And then you're going to really fast, you're going to try to get this door shut as best you can. But then sometimes it sticks out. And then you're going to push this in with the stick. And then you're going to close the door and pray that it shut. Oh, it shuts. All right. Is it centered? We'll find out right now. It is centered. Hallelujah, Lordy, hallelujah. Okay, and then if you have a bag of tassels, like I do that I get from Amazon, I think this is like $10 to $12, and you get like 25 of these tassels. You can get them in all different colors. I give my relics a tassel. So I place it into the reliquary, like so. I find a little gap around it, and then I push, well, like if I can do it, I push it through, just like so. And then, I don't know, I want them all having something dangling from them. My mom always said I was a gypsy. Don't know what that means. Okay, and then there we go. We're going to have this dangling down with our holy relic. Okay, and then you realize you have so many holy relics and you are a hoarder and you can't help yourself. But here we go. Here is our saint Pope Pius X. Who is Saint Pope Pius X? I am going to show you a picture of him in a moment. Hold on. Hold on. All right, let's get this. Let's get this in my hands. Look at this. Okay, look how beautiful this is. All right, Pope Pius X was a very traditionalist pope. He wanted the tradition of the Catholic Church to remain the way it was. He hated modernists. He had spies actually in the church to find out who the modernists were. The modernists were the people that were like equivalent to today's communists or Marxists or progressive lunatics, the type that try to like make rules that are absolutely ridiculous. Like they want to ban brick oven pizzerias in New York. What's New York without its brick oven pizzas? Oh, it pollutes the environment. And meanwhile, China has like 6 billion factories spewing nasty pollutants out into the air every day. But you can't have a brick fire oven and make your pizza in New York. That's what I mean about progressivism. And so that Pope was very, very, very traditional. He made many miracles, multiple miracles while he was alive, curing very sick people. And they couldn't even believe that he cured them. And example, one person had a foot disease. A nun had a terrible foot disease, so bad that she begged him for his sock. He delivered the sock to somebody to give to her. She put the sock on and she was instantly cured. All the foot disease went away. And when news got back to him, he said, "What the heck? My sock doesn't even do me any good, but it cures somebody else's foot?" Yes, he had foot problems his whole life. And he was stupefied. And then when he cured another person who had festering wounds and scabs and sores all over their body, they thanked him and he said, "Don't thank me. Thank the key." All right. So he's a fantastic healer. And so this saint has the kindest, most gentlest eyes. He was Pope from 1903 to 1914. He just missed World War I. And he actually had a terrible, terrible vision of World War I and World War II and World War III, where bodies were littered everywhere. He was in a trance and he almost passed out because he saw the most terrible, most horrible things that he's ever saw. And he said, "Don't speak of this until after my death." So the people that witnessed him having this this vision where he like totally blanked out and he had this horrified look on his face, he told them not to mention it until after he was dead. And I'm a little afraid, boys and girls. And so we all need a little help from the saints. And so Father John is going to be very happy. I can't wait for his relic to arrive and his reliquary from Amazon that I'm getting for free because those bastards, excuse my language, sent me a used one, sold it to me as new. Ridiculous. How ridiculous is that? So if you ever see a barcode that says, what was that again? I'll be back. If it says LPNRR and some other code after that, and you see like a torn off return shipping label, they got you. They got you and they gave you a fake, well, not a fake, but a returned item that somebody didn't want anymore. That's scuffed up. And poor Maria Goretti has to be in a scuffed up reliquary. All right, guys, thanks for watching. See you guys all soon. And I want to know in the comments below what you think about my collection. Somebody wrote a comment the other day, "What is all this? Is this for just decoration?" And I know what he meant. He was being rude. So don't be rude in the comments. Be nice.